are two separate chapters from Colden Street, my work in progress about my childhood growing up in Flushing, New York. Rupa. Ugh, 3 girls, Grandmother Bajaj cried, wiping her eyes behind her thick glasses. My sister Neva and I were 15 months apart, and now, 11 years later, our parents' final attempt at a son had failed. I held my baby doll Rupa tight underneath the blanket. I'd prayed for a girl. Now I prayed my new sister would be as beautiful as my baby doll, with her wide black eyes and her painted smile. Neva was sleeping beside me, her head nearly hanging off the bed. Grandmother Bajaj was the first to tell us the new baby was born at 3:53. My grandmother spent the day on the phone with her Chicago daughter and friends from our building. She spoke freely in a way that she never did with my parents, commiserating about the birth of another daughter, her hopes dashed. With Bajaj on the phone, we were free to bounce around like banshees, climbing furniture, sticking our feet out of the balcony and screaming, "Hey you!" at people passing below. When we got too noisy, Bajaj raised a hand, held a phone to her chest, and threatened us with our father's name. We came inside, turned on the TV, and zoned out, forgetting all about Bajaj's salty tears over another baby girl. When the new baby came home, Bajaj revved up her caretaking. For 9 months, she cooked, took care of us and the new baby, letting my mother rest and then return to work. When Bajaj's visa expired, she took baby Rina back with her to India. It had all been planned beforehand. I was heartbroken and took up playing with my doll again, holding her ever more tightly under the covers. I didn't see pictures of my sister Rina until 6 months later, when Bajaj sent black and white photographs of my uncle's wedding. I rifled through the photos, finding Rina in the arms of my uncles, my aunts, and my grandma, Bajaj. I stared at the photos, her little baby face filled with triumphant intensity, her small, wet lips open, about to put something in her mouth with her tiny, plump fingers. Her hair shiny and wavy like Rupa's, and her eyes wide and lined with kajal. Rina was beautiful, and I believed my wish to make her so had worked. My sister Rina was a spitting image of my doll. I had done it. My yearning for a baby sister was that strong. I had dreamed Rina up. I had called her into being. House hunting in the Ford Torino. I spent a lot of time daydreaming in the backseat of my father's car. My father had a red Ford Torino whose black interior got blazing hot in the summertime. I liked the sleek, low look of it, and I could tell my father was proud of it too. It was in countless photographs, sometimes bright and shiny in the sun and sometimes covered in snow. I liked that car. A car like that, a car he could be proud of, was one of the reasons for migrating to the States. My mother joined him a year later when he'd settled in with a job and an apartment. It wasn't that my father was superficial, but he seemed so careful and serious, it was almost a relief to know that he had a materialistic side. In India, he'd owned a Rajdoot motorcycle, and like many others, he too was a man of taste and discernment, as the newspaper advertisement said. There's an old photograph of us, me in the front, astride the oil tank, my little hands next to my father's on the handlebar, my mother in a sari sitting ladylike, holding my father's hips, both legs on one side like she's in someone's living room. I liked the way we looked, all shiny and pretty in the sun. My mother has a small dark bindi on her forehead and dark eyeliner which swerves upward. Neva, according to my mother's calculations, is still the size of a pea in her tummy. My father's in a checkered coat and a white turtleneck, and he looks handsome. I'm there too, but I don't look like myself. My hair looks light and I'm squinting. I'm happy. All of us are happy. In that photo, I think my parents look just as fine as film stars. We look white is what it is. The picture faded, the black less than black, and the white otherworldly. But back to the Ford Torino. Weekend after weekend, packed in the car, we'd drive to Syosset and Great Neck to see houses. The windows rolled up and down with a crank that got stuck sometimes, and a radio played 1010 Winds news all the time. I like to look up at the sky, the clouds following us as we drove through the neighborhoods. We never saw so many trees as we did in Great Neck and Syosset. I liked the house hunting. We'd eat our breakfast, hop into the Torino, and meet Josie, the realtor, at her office. There, we'd wait until she finished chit-chatting with our father, gathered up her keys for the lock boxes, and took us to see new worlds of beautiful neighborhoods and big lawns. I liked the smell of the places when you first walked in, like a secret way of watching how other people lived, so different from us. I liked going into people's homes and seeing how their bed sheets perfectly matched the pillow covers, bed skirts, and drapes. I liked the kitchen curtains with their embroidered flowers and pineapples. I liked looking at the wallpaper designs and toasters and the colors of their fridges. I liked imagining which bedroom would be mine and which one Neva's. Sometimes we'd fight about it in little girl whispers. "That's my bedroom." "No, it's mine." "No, you had the last one, now it's my turn to have first choice." I think our parents pretended too, imagining themselves living in these homes with plush carpeting, separate dining rooms, and habitable attics. Sometimes, if my father said too many no's when Neva and I had parked our hearts on a home, we argued in the car to get him to see it our way. "But why can't we have that one, Papa? It's so pretty, we like it, Papa." "We'll see," he'd say. "Let's think on it some more." We were all dreaming, pretending each house was our own, dreaming dreams about the rest of our lives, dreams inspired by a hallway, a staircase, a window. Our father never let Josie know if he loved a place right off the bat, but we could never hold our excitement. Most of the homes were beyond our parents' budget, but our father went along with Josie's idea that she could talk them down if we liked the house. Anything was possible, she'd say, and it was always good to dream. "Aim high, Satish, aim high." While he liked Josie's philosophy, in the end, it took him 2 years to find a place. For one thing, homes in our price bracket were small. A few things might be perfect, like carpeting or bedrooms, but other things were not so perfect, like only one bathroom or a history of flooding. The other problem was that my father learned he had to stick to the 5 boroughs if he wanted to keep his city job. Josie told him that ruled out Great Neck, which made all of us sad. We had liked house hunting in Great Neck, pretend play in a white people's world of cottages and greenery, but that was not to be. House hunting in our Ford Torino, we learned patience. We had dreams. None of it was real until it was real, until we settled finally for a corner house in Bayside, Queens. Thank you.